Hello, everyone. Welcome to the HireMyVA Team and Business Building Podcast, where we help you to reclaim your freedom through hiring and thriving with virtual assistants without breaking the bank. That means your bank. And I'm Dave Braun. I'm here with Larry Broughton, who's a great coaching partner. We just got done with a what we call our virtual spotlight sessions, but it's kind of a virtual mastermind today. It was awesome. He had so many great tips. I wrote a bunch of stuff down. Larry, how are you doing today, man?
Awesome, handsome Dave. How are you?
I'm doing great.
That was a good session today. Yeah, I just want to make sure that people understand like these virtual spotlights that we do. To me, like a mastermind is you go and you spend time with each other, you build relationships, there's some teaching, there might be guest speakers. So it's not that. But it really is one of the things that I've been doing for a couple of decades now. We've been doing together too. Where people come in, they bring the biggest challenge, opportunity, or idea and share it with the group.
Yeah.
And we have a kind of a process that we take them through that I think is unique. I don't think anyone else does it really the way we do it. And people get breakthroughs. And it's very interesting, Dave, these virtual spotlights in that literally, without exaggeration, $1 million ideas have been born out of these spotlight sessions, right? Businesses have been saved through these spotlight sessions, right? Marriages too, absolutely. But it's challenges, opportunities, and ideas. And the great thing about them, Dave, is not just that, hey, if I'm giving my present or hey, Dave, here's my challenge, that I'm just learning from that. I'm learning from everyone else's as well. I'm getting ideas from everyone else's as well, because we're all helping each other out here, right? And one of the things I learned years ago in the mentoring and coaching space is that we've all got the same problems. We've all got the same challenges. There are rarely unique ideas. It's just the size, scope, and scale that changes. Maybe the industry changes from all these different challenges that we have. And so it's a lot of fun. And it's important that you pay attention and participate when you're in these things, because if you haven't had this challenge in the past, you're having it or you're going to have it. So you might as well learn now.
That's right.
I can't tell you how many times I've been through a spotlight session and then been faced with a challenge or something and thought, oh yeah, we talked about this at my mastermind group. How did we handle it then? Right.
Yep. Got one of these forms up right here.
There you go. So it was very powerful today. And I would encourage folks, if you're looking for a coach, if you're looking for a mentor, you're looking for kind of just something that's going to to get you going in your business.
Yeah.
Then maybe consider these virtual spotlight sessions that we do. The entry cost is really, really, really affordable. It's not like getting into a $15,000 coaching program with us. It's not like doing a $9,750 strategy day with us. It's a really economical way to get in, just to dip your toe in the water and see, hey, is this space? Are these guys worth working with? Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, because I think that's an important point, is that you got to sometimes spend some money to really see if it's worthwhile. And you're right. It's a pretty low cost entry way to do it. And try it out. And the worst thing that happens is you find out we're not a match over the course of time, but I guarantee you jump into this, you're going to get all kinds of ideas, plans, and ways to make some breakthroughs, no matter what.
Yeah.
It'll happen. Happens with everybody that we've worked with.
The businesses that were on the call today, we had one that's just approaching their 1-year anniversary from their startup. We had businesses that have been around for several years that are doing over, a couple $1 million a year.
Yeah.
And everything in between. Right.
Yeah.
So they're always fun. They're fun for me. I mean, I take so many notes myself. It's like, darn, I know I should be doing this. Thanks for the reminder.
Yep. I got action items circled in red. It's like, oh my gosh.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah. One of these days we'll have to, maybe we'll start recording podcasts after these and say, okay, here's some of the lessons that we got reminded of or that we learned after each one. I think we ought to do that.
That's a good idea.
One of the things that I wrote down that you mentioned that I'd forgotten about is trust seals on your site, your website.
That's right. Yeah.
That was awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. If you want to know what that is, ask us in a comment.
That's a good point. Well, Dave, I think we got a question today. Why don't we dive into the question?
Okay, so it is kind of related to we're talking about, we were on these virtual spotlight sessions, and we had folks on there that are pretty darn successful.
Yeah.
So this question is, what are the morning routines of successful people? And Larry, just as a quick backdrop, we had talked about this, oh my gosh, like 20 or so episodes ago, thinking, we got to talk about what makes a productive morning routine for folks, because we get asked that question. And I tell you, almost every program that we do, we bring it up and we talk about it.
Well, I think we may want to start with what the hell is a morning routine.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And like, why would someone do one?
Well, right? let me take a guess. It's a routine that you do in the morning.
Very good. Very good. You get to move to the head of the class. Well, here's the deal. Most of us, and I did this most of my life, to be honest with you. And it's one of the things I think that contributed to, there were a lot of things that contributed to the breakup of my marriage, but this is one of the things for sure, is that I was already in work mode the night before.
Yeah.
I was one of these people, I would work throughout the night. I always had a notebook by my bed, my to-do list, writing things down on it. And so my brain was always processing. When I woke up in the morning, guess what? I was already there.
Yeah.
There was no time for intimacy. There was no time for, being calm and setting my intentions for the day. My intention was get up and take on the freaking day.
Yeah.
And I put on my game face and I went at it, right? I wasn't bonding with my kids. When I was driving to the office, I was flipping people off and trying to swerve them off the road. I'm sorry. That's how I was, right? Yeah. And my blood pressure was constantly high, but I was never intentional about setting my expectations for the day. So you and I both have had the opportunity to meet with and interview hundreds and hundreds of high achievers, successful entrepreneurs and CEOs that viewers will recognize. Turn on the TV, many of them you'll see on the nightly news. And there's a common theme, Dave, that we see among these high achievers, and they all do some sort of morning routine.
Yeah.
They set their intentions for the day to say, here's how I'm going to take on the day. And here's what I'm not going to do, by the way, is just as important, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this whole thing started for me very intentionally about 10 years ago, and it's what prompted me to actually write this book, Flashpoints, that you helped me get across the finish line. It's part of a morning routine, where I do some reflections, some readings, some reflections, and some intentions, mm-hmm. right? And so my I call him my spiritual mentor, is the one who told me, you need to start doing a morning routine. And I was like, I'm already performing at a high enough, really? And he knocked me over the head for about a year before I finally got into it. So maybe we just ought to kind of knock out what are some of the things that we see as commonalities among all the high achievers that we know, plus some of the people who are knocking it out of the park from our coaching and mentoring community. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, we can do that. And then we can talk about, as we're doing it, talk about what works for us. Because it is an individual thing. And I think you and I have experimented a little bit over the years to see what works for us.
Let me start. Yeah, exactly. Well, let me start it out with what I had kind of jokingly said earlier, but not really jokingly, is that for me, my morning routine starts the night before. I have to set my intentions the night before, right? Dave, you and I are kind of big in looking at how the brain works. We know that the brain processes things while we're sleeping at night, right? Mm-hmm. And if you go to bed, and before you go to bed, you're watching movies like Full Metal Jacket or Halloween or some slasher movie, guess what your brain is going to be focusing on while you sleep, right? So for me, when I'm at my best, because let me tell you, I don't always get this right. Okay.
Yeah, me either.
But when I'm at my best, the night before, I don't have any screen time at all for an hour before I go to bed. That means no phone, no TV, no screen. I don't want those pixels, hitting my brain. I've got quiet music on, and, I'm brushing my teeth, washing my face, taking a shower, whatever I'm going to do. And then I've got music on, and then I start by doing not my to-dos like I used to do. I used to have my to-do list by my bed, and I would wake up in the middle of the night and write to-dos down. So I was training my brain. If something came to mind, wake up. I stopped doing that. And now what I do is I do my ta-das. Ta-da.
Yeah.
Before I go to bed. Here were the victories I had for the day, and here are the things that I'm grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'm thinking about as I prepare to fall asleep. So you can imagine, you probably felt this, you get into a fight with your significant other before you go to bed, and how do you wake up?
Very
Grumpy.
often. Yeah, grumpy. Grumpy puff.
Grumpy puff. You tend to wake up the way you go to bed. And so if I fall asleep with a spirit of gratitude, and I like lay in my bed and I thank God for my health, for my kids, for you, Dave, by name, for other friends and family members and my team members, and I'm very specific about it. If I'm still awake, I start at the top of my head. Thank you for my eyes. Thank you for my skull that protects my brain, the sense of smell that I have. And I just work all the way down. And I just feel my body sink into the bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really important to start the night before. Now, I know what some folks do. For those people who work out early in the morning, they'll lay their clothes out the night before, right? They'll have, like, if they're going to have their morning smoothie, they've got all their veggies already chopped up and ready to roll. They just throw them in the Vitamix. They prep in the morning, right? And they've got their to-do list ready to roll. That tends to be what works for me and work for other folks. You prepare for the day the night before.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think one of the big advantages of doing that is you're preparing and saying, okay, here are some of the must-dos that I want to do, and that's part of, I think, your morning routine is you want to think, well, how do I make sure that I get my day going the best as possible for me, right? And so for a lot of folks, not everybody, but for a lot of folks, it's like you said, setting out your clothes the night before so that when you get up in the morning, you're kind of like groggy and all that. You don't really have to think about it, because if you have to start thinking about it when the time comes to have to okay, start setting my workout clothes up and all that stuff, then it's a little bit of a chance that you won't actually do it.
Oh, darn it. I don't have matching socks this morning.
Yeah.
There, I guess I'm not supposed to go to the gym today.
That's right.
We're always looking for excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just makes it a lot smoother if you set up what you want to do in the morning,
Sure.
The night before. And if, as we talk about those aspects, think about how you can get yourself set up. Larry had one great example, setting out your clothes the night before. That's one great example.
Yeah. Good.
So a little bit of the night before. Now, what should we do the very first thing that we wake up?
All right. So for me, I've gotten in arguments with people about this. Okay? And again, I've been saying this since I realized this in the military. Make your damn bed. Okay.
Yeah.
And I used to talk about this. And then several years ago, there was an admiral, I forget his name, but he actually did a talk on this. But I can tell you, folks that have been in our coaching program for 20 some years know that I've been saying this for years. And it's for a little bit different reason. I say make your bed. It's hard to make your bed. Yes, I know. What the heck is her name? Who was it that got in the fight with us at the coaching program? I shouldn't say her name.
Yeah, don't say the name.
It just came to me.
I think I know.
Yeah. If your spouse is still in bed, don't make the bed over top of them. You can straighten out your side at least, but make sure that your bed gets made. So why, Larry, is that important? Well, for me, it's because your day is very likely to get off the rails.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Most folks don't accomplish what they set out to do. Okay. So for me, let's say I think I'm a smart person. I'm kind of a high achiever. I want things done. I like accomplishments. And I remember there were days when I'd come home. I'm just going to be honest with you. I didn't make my bed today. And I just walked in there, like I'm recording this from my home. And I just walked in there and I looked at that damn bed and it wasn't made. And guess what? Negative chatter started happening. You freaking idiot. You're supposed to make your damn bed. Why didn't you make your bed this morning?
Yeah.
Right. And so it helps you avoid the negative chatter. On the other hand, Dave, there are some times when I come home and it's been a really rough day and I walk into my bedroom and that's the only thing I've accomplished today. It's the only thing. And you just feel better about it.
You do.
But the thing is, when you start your day with a little victory, then it starts the momentum going, because that's really what life is about. This is what success is about. It's these little small victories done incrementally, bit by bit, day in and day out, that leads to massive change. What do they say? Small hinges move big doors,
Right.
right? So I'm not saying every morning clean the garage, cut the grass, do your windows. No, just make your damn bed. That's it.
Yeah. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's simple and easy.
Yeah.
And it is one thing that you have total control over, whether or not you do it. All right.
Unless your spouse is in bed, is what I kept being told. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I have that problem too. So I don't make my bed. Although what always happens is if for whatever reason, Cheryl gets up earlier than me or we're up at the same time, it's the first thing we both do is we make the bed.
That's good.
Now I have a question related to this for you. And I don't know if, I mean, we've known each other for a long time, talked about stuff like this for a long time. I don't know if anybody's ever asked you this question before.
Oh no, Dave, what?
I think this could be, I mean, it could be life-changing for your morning routine. I mean, the significance of this can be crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm just getting all excited thinking about it.
I'm getting nervous. What could you possibly ask me?
Okay, so here it is. What happens when you stay in a hotel and you have somebody's gonna, make everything up for you and come clean during the day? Do you make your bed in the morning?
I make my bed in the
Okay.
hotels. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. You've been into my hotel rooms when we traveled.
I can't remember, but
yes,
yeah. So has anybody ever asked you that before?
No.
I knew it.
World premiere.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't make the bed. I don't.
Yeah. I just feel better when I walk into the room.
Yeah.
And now I'm in the hotel industry, but there's something nice about walking into a hotel room when everything is crisp, right?
Yeah,
the bed is made. And I like that. I like that feeling.
Okay. So let's go. Now that you've made your bed and whether or not you're in a hotel room, okay, let's talk about some of the things you might want to do next. I know for me, what helps a lot is I start with hydration right away. Now, of course, you're probably going to have to do a little bio break, but for me, I really like to have some type of hydration going on. Usually for me, it's just a big thing of water.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. The stuff that we're about to list here, Dave, does not have to be done in this order.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like, I'll just be honest with you. We're getting personal about making beds. There are times when I'm a sweater. I sweat, not wearing a sweater. And so like if my pillow's wet or whatever, I'll go and do other things and then make I'll have the sheets back and then make the bed. Right. But yes. So I'm the same. I'll get up and I'll go to the restroom first. Right. And you're talking about your hydration. Yeah. So I go to the bathroom first, then I make my morning drink. Okay. And so usually it's a protein drink and green smoothie and a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I do next. Yep. All right. Yep. What's next?
So the next is after getting some kind of hydration, and like for me, what I'll do is, and what most people do, and like you said, it doesn't have to be in this order, but there'll be some type of a spiritual focus, right? That might be one of the next things. So you get your coffee or your smoothie or whatever, and you sit and you want to have some kind of a spiritual focus or some kind of an educational focus to get your brain maybe ready for the day.
Yeah, I think this is an important one, and it doesn't necessarily have to be religious. Okay, I know a lot of non-religious people who still have some kind of spiritual practice. Like at least admitting, hey, there's a higher power than me that's really controlling my day.
Yeah.
Here, and I have to let go. The idea here is to lower the blood pressure.
Yeah.
And just set your intentionalities for the day. And we've got tons of recommended readings for folks. If you're interested, flashpoints. Listen, we know lots and lots and lots of people who are using flashpoints as their morning reading, getting them centered, right? Because for those who don't know, if you're on YouTube, I'm just going to hold this up. I don't know if you can see it here, Dave. But we've got a flashpoint that's about 130 words, and then we have reflections and intentions at the bottom. Reflect on what you just read, then what are your daily intentions, and then what are you grateful for? That really helps. It helps on both the spiritual focus part and on the professional development thing that you were talking about earlier, right? My former spiritual mentor said, hey, you can do your morning routine in 7 minutes. Because he used to ask me, well, why don't you do a morning routine? I said, I don't have time. My eyes pop open and I'm already working. He said, that's the problem.
Yeah.
All right. And so he listed some of the things that we're talking about right now. And he said, you can do this in 7 minutes. There are going to be days when you're going to want to go longer once you get into this, and maybe it'll go to 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And when you're really into it, it might go 20 minutes or a half hour. But he said, you can do this 7 minutes. And the point, Larry, is consistency.
Mhm.
So don't use the excuse, I don't have time to do it. Because I can tell you, people will go sit on the can for 15 minutes in the morning with their iPhone going through social media before they ever do anything else. Am I right or am I right?
Oh, you are absolutely
All right.
right.
Oh, and by the way, here's part of the morning routine. I think that's really important. You have not checked your email yet. Okay. Don't check your email yet.
Avoid it if you can. Now, like for
If it's
my
an
business,
emergency, of course.
yeah, certain folks, like in my business, web development and stuff, we have sites we want to maintain, and I'll do a quick check through it to see if there's any kind of an emergency or notification of something. But
That
other
is the
than that,
exception. You're the exception and not the rule.
yeah, I am. But other
Yes.
than that, I mean, if you have to do your email, make sure you only scan through it really, really quick for some kind of
Sure.
an emergency.
Sure.
But hopefully that emergency is not going to be like an everyday thing that
Mhm.
you have to address
Right.
it.
Right.
Oh, and folks, by the way, if you want to do your flashpoint, you can get the book at store.ugozi.com.
There
You can
you
grab
go.
it there, and that's the printed one. Or what you can do if you want is you can get each flashpoint sent to you daily, 365 days a year. You just have to go to ugozi.com/daily and sign up for it. And we'll just send it to you every day. And then you can save it to your Evernote, or you can just at least read it in your email.
And that's free, right?
That's free. Absolutely
Yeah.
free.
Yeah. Yeah. You should do that. And we'll put that in the show notes, won't we, Dave?
Yes, absolutely.
Down
Absolutely.
below.
Yep.
Okay. So Dave, we've talked about preparing the night before. We've talked about making bed. We've talked about some hydration. We talked about some kind of spiritual reading or focus. At some point, people might do prayers, meditation, mantras at this point. Well, by the way, I usually have some kind of soft music in the background as well. I have a favorite chair I sit in when I do this. It looks out towards, the backyard and that kind of thing. So that might help.
Yeah. And one of the things too, Larry, is we could actually go into each one of these things and do a whole show on each one of them.
For sure.
Right? Like, here's some options. Here's what works. Here's what doesn't. Oh, if you really want to level up, you can do this.
Yeah. And I think the thing, Dave, that I struggle with most nowadays, ever since the pandemic has started, I mean, other people have killed it on this and done really good things, but I haven't. I'm just being honest with you. And I'm not getting enough movement in right now. And I used to go to the gym, and then the gym's closed. And then, believe me, I know all the reasons I should be doing it. And I know the excuses I use. Yes, I could just get down and do some body weight movements. I could do some push-ups, some sit-ups, some flutter kicks, just a couple of minutes just to get the blood flowing, or some stretches. And I know I could do that, but I haven't been doing that. Right. But I think that's probably a good one too, to get some kind of physical exercise in. And this is where I think you're really good at this. Like, I know you and Bridget Brady was saying the same thing, that she lays her clothes out the night before for exercise. And so that's good.
Yeah, that's part of one of the first things I do is when I get up, and since I don't make my bed, first things I get up is my clothes are laid out. I just I'm half asleep, throwing my clothes on. So then I know I'm ready to go for some exercise. And so that all that helps. And one of the things that I do, and other folks will do this too, is, when you exercise, so I use I have a certain energy drink that I drink that's a healthy energy drink, and I sip it and drink it throughout my exercise. So that helps me. It helps get the blood flowing. It helps me get a little bit more energy. And so once this whole routine for me is done, ended up with exercise, I'm feeling really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really
awake, vibrant. Right. Yeah.
Yep. Ready to tackle the day.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose of the morning routine, right? Get yourself to where you're ready to tackle the day, and that you come to it with a great foundation of embracing what the day has for you.
Yeah. And as Daryl told me years ago, you can do this, not including the exercise. You can do all this in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
To make your bed, to brush your teeth, well, maybe not brush your teeth, but to make your bed and all these other things, you can do all of this in 7 minutes. If you sit down and you just do it, right? But give yourself a half hour in the morning to
Yeah.
kind of do it. And when I'm at my best, when I am exercising in the morning, I'm not, like sometimes we're going to the gym and it's got CNN on or some other news channel. I don't watch it. I'm either listening to good, positive music or great podcast or great, a lot of the videos that I listen to, right, that are upbeat, where I'm setting my intentions for positivity during the day, because truly you will find what you're looking for.
Right.
If you're looking for positive messages throughout the day, you're looking for victories throughout the day. That's what you're going to see.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for that bastard who cut you off in traffic and that, and that jerk barista who never makes my coffee how I want it, guess what? That's what you're going to see.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to find, So this is really about setting our intentions, about looking for the little miracles in life.
Yeah. And you also might be thinking, oh my gosh, it's barely enough to get the kids to the babysitter and get them going through the day. And well, you have a choice. You can just wake up 10 minutes earlier than them. Right. And, the days where they're waking up with you, maybe you can try to get them involved at a minimum. You have a baby and feed them, and then you could start, getting your exercise, lift your baby up and do some squats, and you got some movement right there. So there's a way that you can figure out around this.
There is a way, but I just want you to compare. Give yourself 30 days. Just try it for 30 days. Commit to it for 30 days and see how your life changes, right? Because how's it working out for you now by not doing it?
Yeah.
You're probably proverbially kicking the dog. You're doing what I used to do, swerving, driving people off the road, being a jerk, How's that working out? Whereas if you just take, maybe get up 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes before everybody else to do this, watch how your productivity and positivity increase in the day. Somehow, when we set our intentions this way, the universe aligns for greatness. I don't want to sound too woo-woo for you. Woo-woo for you. That should be a song. But things do happen. Things do change. Great things happen. So commit for 30 days of doing this. And I would virtually guarantee that you're going to start seeing positive changes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
What else?
I think that's good. Routine? Hopefully you guys get something out of this and can design your morning routine. So really quickly, some of the big elements of this morning routine are, remember, you don't have to spend a lot of time, but remember, it starts the night before. Set yourself up the night before, as we talked about it. Make your bed in the morning, some type of hydration, some spiritual focus, mental, emotional development, something that will help fuel you mentally or spiritually. And then somewhere in that, some kind of movement or exercise. And
frankly, this podcast has gone longer than your morning routine will take. Okay.
It has. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's our cue to close up, huh?
Yeah, but I would remind folks that these types of conversations happen in our communities. This is a great way to actually get connected to other people and say, hey, go in and ask, hey, what are you folks doing for your morning routine? I'm trying this and it seems to really work. Or I tried this and it didn't work. Or you can leave comments wherever you see this podcast or listen to the podcast, and we'll get back to you.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us today. Remember, building a team is the way to reclaim your freedom. You build a team, you'll have more time for your morning routine. And of course, we're here to help you with both of those things. Of course, in our community and our white glove service, where we find a rock star virtual assistant for you. So 3 things we'd love you to do right now. We'd really, really appreciate it. Number 1, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already done so, either on your phone, one of your phones, or subscribe on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button and clicking on the little bell next to it to get reminders. That's number 1. Number 2, give us a rating, preferably 5-star. If you have done that, then go ahead and give us a comment below the video, any question, because it does help us get the word out. And then number 3, go to HireMyVA.com for more information on our course and community and our white glove service. And remember, even without experience, you'll learn how to prepare for, hire, and thrive with virtual assistants. Larry and I'd love to help you go to HireMyVA.com, get more information, and join us in our quest to help people get freedom.
Yeah, I'm going to remind folks, if you're looking for a life of success, do the contrary. Stop chasing success.
Yeah.
For success sake, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to prove dad wrong. I'm going to stop chasing success, but instead lead a life of significance. Play a significant role in the life of your family, in your community, in your place of worship, wherever you show up. Play a significant role there. The universe will reward that. Okay. You'll feel better about yourself. Set your daily intentions through your morning routine. And I promise you this, if you are consistent with it, you will see massive change in your life.
Yes.
All right. So I'll leave you with this. God bless you. God keep you. God hold you. All right, my friends, go get them. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.